You're listening to True Crime Feed. Welcome to True Crime Feed. I'm your host, Angela Ferrari, reviewing the best true crime podcasts from the past decade, plus my top 3 true crime picks of the week. First on the docket, here's a show from the archives I think you will really enjoy. This week we have a single episode from the podcast Swindled. Let's discuss the case for the mogul, the story of Lou Pearlman. Here's a synopsis. Lou Pearlman was an aviation enthusiast and the person many credit with revolutionizing the 90s boy band craze. He managed acts like NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, and many more. In 2006, he was accused of running one of the largest and longest-running Ponzi schemes in United States history. We're talking the man, the myth, the guy filled with enough hot air to power a Zeppelin, Lou Pearlman. But before you listen to the series, go to thetruecrimefeed.com and sign up for my newsletter where I curate visual aids to accompany the show. The visuals on this one are out of control this week. It's like a 90s nostalgia convention. Now let's jump into the mogul from Swindled. If you haven't been living under a true crime rock, you've probably heard of the Swindled podcast hosted by the very mysterious person who goes by the moniker A Concerned Citizen. I feel like this guy brings some of the biggest true crime stories to the forefront before other properties start covering it. I first heard about Anna Dalve on his show well before the famous scripted series came out on Netflix. So basic. And Swindled covers so many more mind-blowing stories. The coverage of the Lou Pearlman story is one of my all-time favorites. It was a jumping-off point that inspired me to go down a further rabbit hole. I mean, there's no such thing as knowing too much about 90s boy bands, right? I want to make sure you still tune in to the Swindled coverage of this story. There's going to be a little bit of overlap, but I'm going to give you some deets that you won't hear on the Mogul episode of Swindled. All right, time to learn about our boy Lou Pearlman. He was raised in Queens in the late 1950s, and Lou was the only child of Jewish parents. Boy, does he give only children a bad rap. He is super spoiled by his mother, who indulges his every wish. And from a young age, he develops a grandiose sense of himself. Lou doesn't have many friends, and the few he does have never know when he's telling the truth or a big ol' whopper. Lou later goes on to claim in many interviews that he was a business prodigy right from his childhood. Lou asserts that he bought several paper routes around his neighborhood and then hired other kids to do all of the work for him while he sat back and enjoyed the spoils. Okay. Then Lou further boasts that he brokered a deal with Dunkin' Donuts and started having his newsy crew deliver brunch and coffee along with the morning paper to his clients. Wow, what a remarkable, special, important little ingenious boy. Lou's childhood friends deny all of this. #fake newsies. Little boy Lou also tells his friends to come to his bar mitzvah because global singing sensation and internationally famous Art Garfunkel is going to be there. Guess what? Art Garfunkel actually did attend and perform at Lou Pearlman's bar mitzvah because they were cousins. This connection gave Lou loads of credibility. He would use this name drop to gain entry into many future schemes. Let's start with Scheme 1. We will call this Operation Flip That Blimp. Growing up across from the Flushing Airport fostered Lou's love for all things aviation. He especially enjoyed watching the blimps take off and land. Lou can't wait to get his hands on a blimp of his very own. He starts a company called Airship Enterprises Limited. Cool. Ready for takeoff. But Airship Enterprises is still missing something. Oh right, an airship. So, in 1980, he leases a blimp to a new fashion startup based out of Israel, who are launching their brand Jordache jeans in the United States. They want to see their luxury brand name bedazzled on the side of a gold blimp as it hovers over their premiere party being held at the Statue of Liberty Park. You know those high-quality advertising blimps you've seen, like the Goodyear or the MetLife blimp? Yeah. Lou didn't get one of those. Instead, he leased an old logging blimp. I did some research into logging blimps. They were essentially used like air cranes in the 1980s, but they barely passed the proof of concept phase and were never put into commercial production. So I guess you could say logging blimps never really took off. I'm sure your boy Lou got a heck of a deal on this thing. Estimates are that this secondhand blimp set Lou back around 10 grand. But he insured it for $2.5 million. Then comes the day of the big event. It's October 8th, 1980. Picture supermodels adorned with puff shoulder blouses, cinched with wide-banded belts, and dudes sporting popped collars and Ray-Ban shades. Of course, everyone is wearing their high-waisted, butt-hugging Jordache jeans. Très chic. And what's up there in the sky? It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a big flying turd. Yes, instead of a shining gold pristine blimp, the sparkling emblem of Jordache excellence, the crowd sees a poop brown deflating body of gas balloon crashing towards them. The Jordache Dookie blimp barrels into the Hudson nose first. Okay, it didn't exactly happen this way. That's my Hollywood screenplay version. The blimp actually crashed the day before in Lakehurst, New Jersey, shortly after takeoff. I tracked down the archived local New Jersey news coverage of this incident, and it looks straight out of the movie Anchorman. There is a link to watch in my visual aids this week. There's one guy in particular, a lieutenant from the airport, that gives some enthralling color commentary about this limp blimp. You gotta see this guy. Ron Burgundy wishes. So in addition to all the local coverage, the Jordache blimp crash makes national headlines and Lou gets a big payday. He invests in more flying machines and eventually starts chartering flights for the rich and famous. One day, a group of young, rowdy teen boppers hop into his private jet. Who are these hooligans, Lou wonders, and how the heck can they afford a private jet? And that's how Lou Pearlman was introduced to the new kids on the block and the whole boy band biz.